Adele Arakawa is basking in the Arizona sunshine somewhere, enjoying her first month of retirement after decades as our lead anchor. And you know, for any TV station replacing a legendary anchor, the real challenge is getting the community accustomed to a brand new face on the team. So I am joined now by Kim Christensen.
Hard to spell though.
Yeah.
I-A-N-S-E-N.
Okay, Christensen. And I see here you joined 9 News 32 days ago?
That'd be
years
ago.
32 years ago. Going okay so far?
So far, so good.
Okay, all right.
I've moved a couple times building-wise at 9 News and a few times around the city.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What are your impressions of Colorado so far?
Lot of what I remember my entire life.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay,
yes,
all right.
yeah.
So some biographical notes to get people up to speed. I note that you previously worked as a writer and associated producer for a 6 p.m. newscast. Where was that?
It was a 6 a.m. newscast.
6 a.m. newscast, yeah.
That would be at KUSA 9 News.
Oh,
yeah.
that was here?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So your work history looks a little sparse. For somebody who's getting a lead anchor job. Just the one station.
Just the one station.
But it's worked out okay so far.
Every shift.
Okay.
Every single shift. Every day of the week.
Yeah. And
then they're done that.
I imagine over time you've probably worked with some difficult people.
I have.
On rare occasions.
Some more than others.
Okay. We'll leave it there. We don't want anybody to be uncomfortable. So you're moving into the 10 p.m. anchor chair, long held by Adele Arakawa. Not certain if you're familiar with her work.
I am.
She's very good.
Very familiar.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. She's very, very talented.
Did you make me cry now?
Yeah, I'm not. No
Yeah.
crying. No crying. So another fun fact. I'm not sure if you were aware, but Adele was the boss of me. So
I heard that.
Yeah, if you could be the boss of me now.
She makes you nervous a little bit?
just a little bit, yeah. So in addition to needing a co-anchor, I also need somebody to be my boss. So if you're up for that, that would be fantastic.
No.
No, not taking your job.
I know some man babies in my life, but I'm not going to put you in that category. I promise.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay, I pretty much can't do this anymore. So.
Did you know that Stapleton once was an airport?
I did know that.
And there's this city called Arvada that people out of state don't pronounce the right way.
I heard that in a commercial once. Yeah, I heard that in a commercial.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just learning all this stuff now that I'm learning a lot about Colorado.
Yeah, so in all seriousness, this is going to be a lot of fun to work together even more each night. And I know that when I was hired here 10 years ago, I suppose you're 32, my greatest fear as a 23-year-old new hire was that they were going to replace me with a 22-year-old. Yeah. That was my fear. I just say that to point out this can be a fickle business, but you have found a secret to success here in town. What do you attribute any success that you've come across in your career to? What's made it work for you?
Surround yourself by brilliant and talented people. I mean, I have not had that privilege, which I think it is a privilege to move around and work in small markets and work with different people. Instead, I started behind the scenes working with so many good people that taught me so much and really carried me along and let me grow up. When you talk about growing up, I grew up at 9 News in so many ways.
Did you ever feel like you missed out at all because you didn't bounce around the country? I mean, some people use this job as a ticket to see America.
Right.
They live everywhere, they work everywhere, and you chose a different path.
At different times I did, and then every time people would come here as a new person, someone like you or a photographer that moved or came back and said, oh my gosh, you guys have no good idea how lucky you have it. Or you work with a Tom Costello who brings it up on a regular basis. The work they do at 9 News, KUSA, is extraordinary. Then I say, man, I'm pretty lucky. I didn't need to leave.
When you started here, first job out of school, if somebody had said, oh yeah, one day that lead anchor chair, that's going to be what you do.
Are you kidding me?
You would have laughed them out of the room.
I would have, no. And it actually, about a month or two ago, I started thinking, about a month ago, thinking, if you would have told me as a 21-year-old girl that was once an intern at 9 News, one day, Kim, you could be in that big chair at 10 p.m., I would never. I mean, that is fairy tale stuff. That's like pinch yourself. No, never, ever. I felt so fortunate to get the internship at 9 News, the internship.
I have been told that I do a terrible Ed Sardella impression on the TV. The good news is I don't try to do an Ed Sardella impression, nor do you attempt to do an Adele Arakawa impression. You guys have always had your own style, your own take on things, the same dedication to the journalism that's at the core of it. I mean, as somebody who sat between the two of you in the newsroom for years, it's the same conversation, but different styles. What are you hoping to bring to the job?
I think about that a lot. Some people have been kind enough to share their constructive criticism with me of my work and their expectations now that I am following Adele, because you only follow somebody like Adele. And I read those and think, oh my goodness, it's like, by the way, you're too soft, or you might be a little silly, or make sure you're this and make sure you're that. And I think back to one of my bosses here, who's this guy that runs the company now, Dave Luigi.
Oh yeah, that
and he
guy.
offered me some constructive criticism when I first started, and the next week I went on the air, because it was like days apart. I sat like this and tried really hard, and he called me into his office and said, forget what I said, that's not you. And so I'm going to try to be my best version of Kim. And but I know exactly Adele, I think of what would Adele do in my head all the time, all the time.
Yep, you and me both. Could not be more proud. It's going to be so much fun.
Thank you.
And thank you for
You know
humoring
I'm a
my
big fan of
stupid
you,
questions.
and you scared me to death making me do this.
I was like, hey, you want to come out? I'll just ask you a bunch of stupid questions. It'll be lots of fun. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.